So our constitution also adopted good laws and policies from the constitution of other democratic countries. Okay. Next, moving on, we have the Constituent Assembly. The people who made the constitution were elected through the election. Okay, so they were called the Constitution Assembly. Okay, that particular assembly were known as Constitution Assembly. So there were 299 members in the Constituent Assembly. So there were 299 members in the Constitution Assembly. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949. Okay. It came into effect on 16 January 1950. So, to mark the day, we celebrate 26 January as a Republic Day every year. So, during 26 January 1949, the Assembly adopted our Constitution. So, to mark that day only, we celebrate 26 January as a Republic Day every year. Okay? So, you should not forget that the Constitution Assembly had 299 members, and those 299 members from the different region framed the constitution of our country, keeping in mind the feelings of the different people, okay, living in our country. So next is working of the Constituent Assembly. The Assembly was dominated by the Indian National Congress, as Indian National Congress was one of the leading party during the time of our independence. That's why most of the members from the Constitution Assembly was from Indian National Congress, which include the variety of political regional groups of people. So in social terms, the assembly represents members from the different language groups, caste, classes, religion, and occupation. Finally, the Constitution Assembly worked in systematic, open, and consciential with mutual consent manner, which gives sacred quality to the constitution. So these members were from the different region, different caste, people belonging from different castes, classes, religion, and occupation. So this all these people, they worked together and made a good quality constitution. Later on became one of the best constitution and one of the largest constitution of the world. Committee and Constituent Assembly. So the drafting committee was under the chairmanship of Dr. BR Ambedkar. Okay, so discussion of the draft constitution took place clause by clause, and every document presented and every word spoken in the Constitution Assembly has been recorded and preserved till now. Okay, so these are called Constitution Assembly debates and has been printed in 12 bulky volumes. So these debates provide a rationale behind every provision of the Constitution and are used to interpret the meaning of the Constitution. Guiding values of the Indian Constitution. So while making our Constitution properly, so there are so many, they have the leaders who are making the Constitution have taken the views of so many prominent leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and there are so many other leaders also. They keep their views that how the Constitution should be like. Okay, so these are called the guiding values of the Indian Constitution. So dream and the promise of Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi, also the father of our nation, also had kept his views while making the constitution of our country. So Mahatma Gandhi was not a member of the Constituent Assembly, but many members of it followed his vision. So Mahatma Gandhi during that time was not the member of Constituent Assembly, but many members of it followed his vision. Okay, in 1931 he had expressed himself in his magazine Young India. So this you please underline because this might come during your examination. Okay, so he had expressed himself in his magazine Young India that he wanted to frame the constitution that provides the effective voice to the poor and underprivileged. So he had expressed his feelings, he had expressed his views in the magazine called Young India, that how the constitution should be like. Okay, so keeping in mind the effective voice to the poor and underprivileged also. He wanted the constitution to promote harmonious living of all community. He also wanted the constitution to promote by the rules so that the people in our country will live peacefully throughout. Okay, it should not allowed untouchability, so there should not be is such a superstitious like untouchability in constitution. Intoxicating drinks and drugs in the country should not be allowed. Okay, and it should give equality to women with men. Okay, next prominent leader was Dr. BR Ambedkar. Dr. BR Ambedkar wanted political, social, and economic equality for all. Okay, he is known as the father of Indian Constitution. So, Dr. BR Ambedkar is known as the father of Indian Constitution. He feared that if we deny equality in social and economic life for long, democracy will be in great danger. So he feared that if there is no equality in the social and economic life of the people, then the democracy will be in danger. Next is Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru wanted equality of opportunity to all. So he wanted equal opportunity for all. End of poverty should be there, and ignorance and control of diseases should also be there in the constitution. He wanted all responsible persons to dedicate themselves in the service of the society. Institutional design. The constitution embodies the values and philosophy into institutional arrangement. Most of Indian constitution deals this arrangement. Okay, the maker of the constitution made the provision for making amendments to the constitution. So making amendment means to make the changes in the constitution from time to time. So these changes are called constitutional amendment. So the changes made in the constitution are known as constitutional amendment. So it can be done now also. So if there is some changes needed in the constitution, then it can be amended now also in our constitution. Okay, so next is in its working, there are three major excepts. That is, it lays down the procedure for choosing person to govern the country. So first thing, it is by the election we have to choose the government of the country, so in the democratic country. So number two is it defines who will have how much power to take the decision. That is, distribution of power among executive, legislature, and judiciary are also there. Number three is it puts limits to what the government can do by providing some right to the citizen, and that cannot be violated. So it also puts limits to what the government can do by providing some rights to the citizen and cannot be violated. These are called fundamental rights. So all people are provided, the constitution have provided all people with their fundamental rights. So these are some of the rights given to the people. Okay, next is preamble. So what is preamble? Preamble is the introduction of the constitution. So it is the first page of constitution in which the introduction introductory part is there. So like it's like a poem written in the starting of the constitution. It is the introduction of the constitution. It also contains philosophy and moral values on which the constitution has been built. Okay, it also provides a standard to examine any law or action of the government to find out it is good or bad. So it is also the soul of our constitution. The preamble is also a soul of our constitution. Now we come to the important terms used in the preamble. Important terms used in the preamble are given below. We, the people of India, the constitution has been drawn up and enacted by the people of India through their representatives. Okay? Sovereign means India is free country and no external power can be dictate to the government of India. So sovereign means India is free now and no other external powers can dictate to the government of India. Socialist, wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by the society. Okay. Secular, there is no official religion and all religions are treated equal and should be respected by the government. Next is democratic. We have adopted a form of government in which people elect their rulers and hold them accountably. Next is republic. The head of the state is elected and the person, and it is not a hereditary position. Okay, so the head of the state is elected by the people and it's not a hereditary position. Next is justice. The laws would not discriminate between citizens and on the basis of caste, religion, and gender. There should no discrimination between the citizen on the basis of caste, religion, and gender. The government would work for the welfare of the poor and oppressed so that social inequalities are reduced. Okay, liberty. Citizens are free to express their opinions and there are no unreasonable restriction on their liberty. So citizens are free to express their opinions. They can express their opinions anywhere, anywhere. Okay, so if they don't like the policies of the government. Okay, so equality. All the citizens are equal before the law irrespective of difference in the social economic condition. Whether rich or poor, all persons are equal in front of law. Fraternity. Each citizen should respect the feeling of brotherhood and no one should treat a fellow citizen as inferior. Each citizen should be respected and the feeling of brotherhood should be there. No one should be treated no one should be treated a fellow citizen of inferior. No one should be treated badly. So if whether he is a low caste people, whether he is a poor people, okay, whether he is a rich people, all should be treated equally. Understand? So with that we have covered this chapter, the constitutional design. So my dear students, with that, we have covered our second chapter of political science, that is constitutional design. Hope you have understood the chapter well. And if you have any problem, you can text me in the group regarding this chapter. So, with that note, stay home, keep learning. Thank you for watching.